have talked with the prosecutor about, that still stays in effect, but you'd make a decision later as to whether you want to go forward with that plea or not, where the other case is dismissed. You guys will talk further and it will be at circuit court. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's going to be out like 6 to 8 weeks that they'll set it up through circuit court, and probably, I'm just saying probably by Zoom as well. Do you understand?
Yes.
Your best bet is to keep talking to Mr. Fabian, because he'll be the one notified by circuit court. You'll find out who the judge is that you've got. You'll find out what date you have to connect with them. And then, of course, you're going to have to make some further decisions. Do you get that?
Yes.
So for today, it's waiver of the prelim and waiver of the circuit court arraignment. The case moved on to circuit court. You stick to talking to Mr. Fabian. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Fabian, my clerk will send you those documents or send you the information of where for you to send the documents back. Since you've already indicated you've executed those documents, we'll just wait to get them then. Bond stays exactly the way it is. You've done everything we've asked, Ms. Burris. We just ask you to continue, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Can you think of anything else, Mr. Fabian?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Anything, Mr. Tarango?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you then. Thanks, everybody. The Burris matter, we're concluded. All right, back to Mr. Volkema. Mr. Lambert, you've connected here.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, we're on file D20-00772FY. It's the William Volkema case. Mr. Volkema had pled to domestic violence second with an incident going back to March 4, now already 6 months ago with Nicole Volkema. Is that your spouse?
We're going through a divorce, Your Honor.
So it'll be some soon to be ex, but it was your spouse at the time.
Yes.
So today's the date for sentencing. If there's anything you can think of that you want to say, Mr. Volkema, you can speak. I'll have actually Mr. Lambert speak first. Go ahead, Mr. Lambert.
Your Honor, as my client has already indicated, this incident involved his wife, and they were going through a divorce even at the time of the incident. So
Sure.
tensions were obviously high at that time, as can be expected during a divorce. That's not by way of justification, but certainly by way of explanation as to what occurred on this date and time and incident. There were no injuries. Been now 6 months. The divorce is still going forward. My client has had no contact with his wife. There have been no additional problems whatsoever. This is something that occurred and is behind my client. It's not an instance where he's stalking her, still angry with her, seeking to get revenge of some sort. He just wants to get the divorce and move on with his life, just as surely as she does. Your Honor, I believe given those circumstances, and particularly the amount of time that has already passed, that no jail would be appropriate in this instance. My client is employed as indicated, and he is going through this divorce. He would just like to move on and get his life in order. I'd leave it to the court's discretion with regard to any other punishment with regard to a sentence, but I do believe that no jail would be appropriate under these circumstances, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Volkema, can you think of anything that you want to say?
Yeah, it wasn't the first time with me and her going through this. It was the best decision I made getting divorced. Since she's been out of the picture and we've been separate, I've had a whole lot more stress. It's actually started a journey of self-improvement for me. I'm in all kinds of classes and therapy and just doing so much better than I was back then. And I don't know why I waited that long to go through with a divorce, honestly. I'm trying to get this behind me and just, be a totally different person from here on out. So been going
Your
good.
first marriage was 6 years and this marriage was how long?
Close to 5.
Uh-huh. Are those the only 2 times you've been married?
Yes, Your Honor, and there won't be a third.
Did you have a kid with the first marriage?
Yes, 2 sons.
And what are their ages now?
Noah's 14 and Grayson is 10.
Do you still have contact with them?
Yes, Your Honor, almost daily.
And with this spouse that you're divorcing now, you had no children with, correct?
Correct.
What do you do for a living?
I work at a factory, Your Honor.
Is it considered full-time?
Yes.
The prior incident that you had for domestic violence 4 years ago, was that with Nicole as well?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Volkma, you're old enough to understand that people may have dysfunctional relationships, but you have to be in control of how you act. Mr.
Yes.
Lambert talks about the frustration and the anger and bitterness of going through a divorce and how difficult it can be, and that tempers can flare. Even in your own statement on this incident, you said she left. You were in the bedroom trying to sleep, but then you thought something wasn't right, so you should leave and go to a friend's house. There's no reason why you couldn't have just stayed in that bedroom and never come out of that room that night. There's no reason any of this had to happen. And I'm not saying that Nicole is perfect. She's not perfect. You're not perfect. And she might act inappropriately at times, and you might act inappropriately at times. But there's no way this should have ever happened. That's my bottom line. And you're way old enough as an adult man to know that. So while you talk about being on the road to self-improvement, figure out what you need to do in your life to control you, to have yourself be in a situation where you can be stable. Because the reality of this is, while it takes more than one person to be involved in this, I still repeat, it never should have happened. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
I know you said you've been sober and you haven't drank for whatever, and I don't know you. I don't know every minute of what's going on. It's routine that I order counseling, and I order no alcohol, no illegal drugs, no misuse of prescription medication and testing. I even order no marijuana. I don't give you any more jail time than you've already served, but out of a 1-year sentence, 2 days credit means 11 months and 28 days are suspended. I won't give you more jail time now, but if you mess up over the next 1 year, one year is how long you'll be on probation. That's exactly what you could be looking at as a jail sentence. It's a $1,000 fine, $360 is the probation, $75 crime victims' right fee. Counseling is domestic violence and or whatever help improvement you need for self-awareness of getting yourself on track, like you said, self-improvement. The total on everything is $1,435. I'm still going to say no contact with the victim or where she lives unless ordered by circuit court. Because you don't have kids together, even though that stepson was like a child to you, they're not going to have that be part of this divorce. They're not going to have you visitation, I don't think. I don't know. They're going to have you deal with your biological kids, but they're not going to have you focused on this non-biological kid. So unless there's some order by the family court or circuit court, don't have any contact directly or indirectly with Nicole. If there's a court case set up and you both have to be there, or you both have to attend, I'm not saying you can't. Anything ordered by family court or circuit court is allowed. There was evidence alleged that even after this incident in March, in early May, you were texting or sending emails. That would be indirect contact. And if you're having any indirect contact with her, I'm not talking about her attorney on the divorce. I'm talking about her directly. or indirectly, then it's a violation. Do you get how that works?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Well, you're going to either follow it or you don't. But if you don't follow it, recognize you'd be incarcerated. That's the only reason you're not being incarcerated now, to give you an opportunity to prove that you're going to follow the rules. If you don't, be prepared to take the punishment. Are you still living at that 45th Street in Holland?
Yeah.
And you can get mail there?
Yes.
If you have questions, you talk to your attorney, Mr. Lambert, directly. You will have a probation officer, and you'll be talking with them remotely. That's your main contact with the court if you have a question.
Okay.
If you're asked to do classes, counseling, treatment, talk with your probation officer so as not to interfere with your work. But it's not something you get to pick and choose. They're going to tell you what to go to, and you got to get it taken care of. Do you understand, Mr. Volkema?
Yes, I do.
I don't mean this in any frustration, but a third offense, domestic violence, is a 5-year felony. You know that? Because
Your Honor.
this was charged? Yeah. So be alert, because they won't reduce it. All right, Mr. Lambert, can you think of any other questions you have?
None whatsoever, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Volkema, thanks for hooking up and being patient this morning.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. Is anybody in the queue on Brandon Castleberry? Ms. Bryant, what case are you on?
That's the one that I'm on, Your Honor.
Castleberry.
Yes.
It's D20-01699FY. Thank you for your patience, Ms. Bryant. Do you
Not a problem.
remember the last time you had contact with Brandon Castleberry?
I've never had contact with him. I left him. a
Never met
message.
him?
No.
Okay. Well, today's the probable cause conference, and I don't want to automatically do a bench warrant for his non-appearance today. I'd rather have you get some opportunity to find out if you know where he is or what's going on. We had an address on East Fulton.
Oh,
The
you do?
prelim- We do, 635 East Fulton Street.
I have a Leonard Street address, which is where we sent the mail
Okay,
to.
hold on one second.
Just got a message from Kelly. He's on the phone with his caseworker, they're trying to get that, he'll be zooming in shortly.
It sounds like Mr. Castleberry has a caseworker and that they were trying to hook up to Zoom, but they were having some difficulty. We got a message at our court today, recently, that they're trying to sign on right now.
Okay.
We'll wait a few minutes and see. I saw that 109 Leonard Street as an address as well. So it looks like that might be the most current one. Give me a
Okay.
few minutes, Ms. Bryant, and we'll see if they hook up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Mr. Liss,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. That's
Can you hear
Michael
me?
Catola. Yes, we can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
That's Michael Catola that's on the video, and we're going to try to get the person that's going to help us with the sign language. Are you right with Mr. Catola? Oh, yes. Ms. Corlett?
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Corlett, I'm Judge Smolenski, and I'll ask you to swear to interpret from sign to English and English to sign to the best of your abilities. Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
and
We're
there
gonna
will,
put you,
there
go
will
ahead.
be another interpreter joining us, which is Erica Allen.
okay. Erica, can you hear me?
I don't know if she's joined yet.
Oh, I thought she was with Mr. Catola right there.
No.
So is the other interpreter needed for what exactly?
Okay, so I think how we'll work this out today is Erica will be facilitating the communication between the attorney and Michael, and I will be interpreting for the actual proceedings. which is on
I
record.
see. I see. Okay. Sign to Mr. Catola that we're getting the interpreters all set up.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Ms. Allen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand? You do solemnly swear you'll interpret from sign language to English and back the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Ms. Allen, I'm going to put you in a room with Mr. Catola,
Okay.
who is the hearing challenged person, and the attorney, who is Edward Liss.
Great.
Then the three of you will be in a room for a bit. Put it down for 10 minutes or 15.
It's at 10.
Yeah. And then we'll bring you back to the main room. And Ms. Corlett is the interpreter that's doing the court process of this.
Sounds great.
Okay. So in a moment, you, Ms. Allen, and the attorney and Mr. Catola will be in a private, confidential room, and then come back to the Zoom in court.
Sounds
And
great.
if you need more time, Mr. Liss, we can do it more if you need it. We'll do 10 minutes at first.
Sounds good, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Kukuth?
That is Castleberry.
I tell them that's me using my
Okay.
Oh, I'm actually using my my social worker's phone.
That's fine. We thought you were signing in, Brandon Castleberry, but we weren't sure. Your
Yeah.
attorney is here, and her name is Alita Bryant.
Okay.
And Ms. Bryant is on the Zoom with us and has never met you, Mr. Castleberry. And Ms. Bryant is going to be put in a room with you so the two of you can talk a minute and meet each other and talk about these larceny from a building felony cases that are scheduled today. And then you'll come back in our court Zoom and we'll talk about what's happening.
Okay.
Mr. Castleberry, your attorney is Alida, A-L-I-D-A, Bryant, B-R-Y-A-N-T. I've been a judge for 30 years. She's been an attorney for much of that, not all of that, but she is very capable. I'm just saying that because you've never met her before, but you'll meet each other right now and talk, okay?
Okay.
All right, hang on. Now, just as a side, Ms. Corlett, it is possible, isn't it, that we just use you for the whole thing?
Actually, Your Honor, it's more appropriate to have our responsibilities
Separate.
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 Because the attorney-client is not on the
I get it.
record.
I get it. I get it. Okay, great. Well, somebody was really thinking ahead to do that, and I appreciate it, so that was good. So now there's just a little bit of downtime